Wow. So I guess the official preliminary results came in for the election that took place in Germany. And it seems like the SPD and the CDU formed a coalition and wound up dominating by a landslide. So they have 402 of the 735 seats as of right now, and it's looking like Olaf Scholz is going to be the new Chancellor of Deutschland. Now, I could be wrong. I'm literally reading this from an article and stuff like that. I live streamed a little bit on twitch.tv/JamesBRAYGANG, and it was very interesting what you guys were telling me. I got a lot of the facts wrong in my last video, so I do apologize for that. I do have some questions. I learned on the stream yesterday about how the process works on a deeper level. One thing that wasn't covered in a lot of the videos that I reacted to about the German election, or like the election in Germany, is I think I phrased something very wrong, right? I said that like every 16 years there's an election. I meant to say that that Angela Merkel has been in office, has been a chancellor for 16 years, and she just chose not to run this term. It's every 4 years they have a new election for chancellor and stuff, and typically people go with whoever they've, you know, seen in that position for a while if they choose to run again. There's a high chance of the person who's already held that position to get and maintain that position. I did not know about the coalition thing at all, because basically to win the vote, right, you need to secure 51% of the votes of the 735, you know, seats and stuff like that. You have to win 51% of that. And I was noticing out of all the parties that were leading, none of them had anywhere close to 51% of the votes. They were all very low. So that's when I was told that these parties can then form coalitions. And that's something that I have never seen before. That's what makes the voting process in Germany entirely different from the voting process in America. And I wanted to talk about that and touch on it a little bit. When you're backed into a corner, right? Like, let's say you have, like, I'm looking right now on the website. You have the SPD, CSU, Greens, FDP, AFD, the left, and the SSW. You have all these parties, right? They don't necessarily have anywhere close to 51% of the seats. At a certain point, right? You have, like, you know, the SPD, CDU with the most, you know, votes and stuff right there, right? But then it's like, okay, then you have the Greens and the FDP. Then these big parties need to start partnering up with the smaller parties to try to get an edge, to get a total of 51% of the 735 seats, you know? So it's pretty fucking crazy that happens, because I never thought that anything like that would ever be a thing, you know? I was thinking about that here. It's like, let's say you have the Democrats, Republicans, and, you know, you have 435 seats or 500 and however many seats here in America. I forgot. I don't know. Don't ask me why I don't know this, but imagine like the Democratic Party and the Republican Party not getting a lot of votes, but because it's spread evenly amongst all the other parties one random year, then it would technically be, if we're doing it by Germany's rules, it would be up to the Democrats and Republicans to go out and try to partner with as many small you know, parties as possible to form a gigantic coalition and see who can form the best alliance to ultimately win. And of course, whoever has the most votes within that coalition becomes the figurehead of, you know, Germany or whatever country in this example, right? So that's pretty interesting, and that's something that kind of shocked me a little bit, and I'm really glad that you guys taught me that. Once again, you can kind of catch these live streams on twitch.tv/JamesBRAYGANG. We do a lot of talking about, you know, a lot of variety of things. I'll teach myself German. You guys teach me about the political system, and I think it's pretty crazy. Now we're gonna go ahead and dive into an article really quick about the election that took place in Germany, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts and feelings on the outcome. Now, I'm not sure if this is a final outcome. This could just be, because I heard that it takes months for them to come to an official decision. It's not just an overnight thing. Now, the votes are sealed in, it seems, but as far as the coalitions and things like that and blah blah blah, I feel like there's, I was told, I'm not sure if I was being trolled on stream, that it does take a while for everything to become official. So let's let me know in the comments down below how true that is. Let's go ahead and take a look at this really quick. This is what I'm currently looking at. We'll look at this thing right here. Green Party, a victory that doesn't feel like one. Boom. Let's go ahead and choose this. So, it says Greens and FDP, two kingmakers, polls apart. Blah, blah, blah. Both the Greens and pro-free market FDP are likely to join a three-party coalition government. Interesting. So right here, Germany, CDU and SPD aim to form coalitions. Live updates. Let's go ahead and check this out. The top article. I was going to check out something else, but let's do this. This was posted today. The SPD's Olaf Scholz said that his party will likely enter coalition talks with the Greens and the FPD, but with the Conservatives also trying to form a government, Merkel's successor is still unclear. DV has the latest. The Social Democrats have emerged as the strongest party, slightly ahead of Merkel's Conservatives. The two possible kingmakers, the Greens and the FDP, are set to start pre-coalition talks. SPD's Olaf Scholz says that he wants to build a coalition with the Greens and the FDP before Christmas. So this is going to take months. We don't have an official result yet. Okay, we have preliminary official results, but we don't have an actual official result for this. CDU's Armin Laschet and the Greens' Robert Habeck have both said no party has a mandate. So preliminary official results, we have distribution of votes. CDU is obviously second place right now with 24.1% of the votes. SPD has 25.7% of the votes. AFD's has 10.3%, and you guys can kind of see this all right here. Pretty straightforward, pretty out there. Here's the distribution of seats. Boom. Let's go read these little sections right here. Business groups call for a quick formation of new government. Leading business groups have urged politicians to move quickly with forming new government. Siegfried Roosevelt. With the new government, Siegfried Roosevelt, the president from the Federation of German Industries, called on leaders to take responsibility and refrain from tactical maneuvers. He said administrative reform and other measures are needed to tackle challenges such as climate change, digitalization, and geopolitical crises. All right, then we have Hans-Peter Wolfseifer, the president of the German Confederation of Skilled Crafts, said the only real outcome of the election is there are multiple coalition combinations. He warned against lengthy negotiations for a new coalition government, as that could stall the nation's economic recovery. Here's a look at how other business leaders reacted to the results. Expert: Germany's China policy will see some changes after Merkel departure. Thomas Kleine Brockhoff, vice president of the German Marshall Fund of the United States, told DV a new government in Germany could mean a few smaller to medium-sized changes to Germany's foreign policy. This would be especially on China, on a China policy, depending on what type of coalition it is, on defense spending and NATO, he said. He added that he did not expect architectural changes despite the Greens' hawkiness on China and Russia during the election campaign. He said they were hesitant to back up these claims with hard power. He said moderate increases in defense spending could likely continue and will not please the Americans because we're not getting 2% to 2% in a couple of years, referring to the 2% of the GDP that the U.S. would like the European NATO members to contribute towards defense spending. On China, Kleine Brockhoff said Xi Jinping's assertiveness and the departure of Angela Merkel would both shape Germany's attitude in the future. Merkel was a holdout of an old China policy that is still built on relative openness towards China trade, and trying not to get into the thick of a confrontational attitude towards China. Merkel was pushing back against all those who tried to take a more distant, even a more hawkish approach on China. Kleine Brockhoff noted that she was going meaning there could be subtle changes or a little bit of a step dance in China policy going forward. Interesting. There's a lot going on here, man. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. So we have Green Party and FDP, two kingmakers, polls apart. Following Sunday's election, the environmentalist Greens and pro-free market FDP are likely to join a three-party coalition government as kingmakers. Kingmakers, I need you guys to explain this in the comments down below. What exactly is that? Kingmakers, is that like the dominating coalition? Is that what a kingmaker is? DV explores whether the parties share any ground when it comes to political policies. Over half the CDU voters think Laschet should resign. Listen, Laschet just messing up, bro. The dude revealed his poll, his ballot, like on national television. Like, what the heck's wrong with him? Around 51% of the center-right Christian Democrat voters think that party leader Armin Laschet should step down, according to a survey. Overall, 70% of those taking part in the survey were in favor of him resigning from his party post, according to a poll conducted for Germany's Funke media group. Many viewed Armin Laschet as the likely successor chancellor to Angela Merkel after being chosen as the leader of the CDU in April this year, but a series of blunders since taking over the top position saw his party take a tumble in ratings. His party came second in Sunday's general election with 24.1%. This was over 8% down in the previous election and their worst result since World War II. That's pretty down bad. That's pretty down bad. Buddy is not swimming in success right now. SPD Lind, CDU lack humility, and FDP have a choice between past and future. Helga Lind, a member of the parliament with the Social Democrats, has told DV that the CDU and CSU have lacked humility in the wake of yesterday's result, as it is evident that they are losers of this vote. But they are significantly immodest, and there is a lack of backbone, he continued. It's the responsibility of the Liberals, FDP, and the Green Party if they want a real future coalition or if they intend to build a coalition of the past. Let's start the talks, let's start the negotiations, and not say what we do not want to, but let's say what we can do together. Very interesting approach, okay? We're almost at the end of this, guys. So it says, is there any overlap between the Greens and the FDP? The environmentalist Greens are set to be kingmakers in coalition talks following the German election alongside the pro-business Free Democrats FDP after coming third and fourth in Sunday's elections preliminary results show. While the parties have committed to exploratory talks, the pair are at odds on key issues. Lawmakers from both parties talked to DV about possible challenges that lie ahead. Franziska Branther, the Greens, told DV that she expected negotiations to be tough. This is literally like trying to choose your friend group. Like, hey, let's form the popular friend group so we can be the dominating coalition, or the maybe kingmakers is probably what I assume kingmakers are for dominating coalition, and then you can choose from there. That's how I think it works, right? I think that you form a massive coalition with a lot of the smaller parties, and then when that coalition wins, the subgroup within that coalition that has the most votes, the party leader becomes the dominating force, and then the chancellor of Germany. That's how I see it. I'm not sure if that's right, but you guys can let me know in the comments down below. It says, we have big differences with the Liberals, FDP, who want to give more money to the rich de facto and don't really want to have a climate protection, Branto said. Climate goals and moderation of the economy, social cohesion, and European solidarity were key issues for the Greens, Branto told DV, and could represent sticking points. Despite differences, the Greens were ready to enter coalition talks seriously and constructively. Lucas Kuller, an FDP parliamentary spokesperson on climate, described areas where he thought his party could have some overlap with the Greens. We Germans, we do think a lot about costs, but we also think a lot about what it would cost not to act. While the FDP has traditionally backed Germany's car manufacturing sector, he said it's not ingrained in our identity to use oil for that. He said that synthetic fuels and electric car industry were areas that could combine the FDP's pro-business approach with the Greens' environmentalist outlook. So that seems like a very likely coalition that is going to be forming quite soon. There's a lot here, so we're going to end it off with this last article, and boom. Likely Merkel will still be chancellor at Christmas, says expert. Wow, that's insane. This right here is pretty insane. So Svenja Kraus, a political scientist and researcher at the University of Vienna, told DV there was a chance that this year the negotiations to form a government will be even more difficult compared to last time. I think it's quite likely that Merkel will still be the acting chancellor by the time Christmas hits, Kraus added. Both center-left SPD leader Olaf Scholz and conservative CDU leader Armin Laschet said they hope to have coalition talks wrapped up by the end of the year. According to Kraus, the SPD had won an even stronger mandate to form a government than the CDU-CSU. Scholz has a very clear advantage here with regards to forming a coalition government, with regard to also being able to talk to different parties on a national level, Kraus told DV. So that's where we're going to end that. From all those articles, we can see a few things. Seems like the preliminary votes are already set in place So that's not changing. Now the coalitions are going to form to combine these votes to create a dominating party and stuff like that. So it makes a lot of sense as far as that goes. And as far as the acting chancellor thing goes, it seems like that's going to take forever, bro. I feel like Merkel might be acting chancellor till maybe like the end of January next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it seems like a lot of talks that we're seeing now are very tactical. So yes, while the election was a very big deal, we don't have an official result until probably next year because of how long things take. And I want to hear you guys' take on this. This is kind of a last minute video I made today. Love you guys as always. Thank you guys for keeping me informed. And if I said anything that is not accurate, please let me know in the comments down below. This is very, very important because I want to learn a lot more about this. Also, I've been slacking with my German learning process. I'm going to hop back on learning German and making more videos in regards to my progress, so you guys can track that. I can track it, and it's cool. And if you guys want to talk to me in Discord, go ahead and join the Discord. We can talk and help improve my speaking. But I've had a lot of personal things recently happen in my life. A lot of good, a lot of not so good, whatever. So just expect to see me every day, no matter what. I love you guys so much. Let me know what you think the future of Germany is going to have. A lot of people I've seen in my DMs have been saying, bro, like, this is kind of crazy. Kind of like a really bad pool of options we have for people we can vote for. So this will be a very interesting turn about as far as end results go. Love you guys, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you later. Bis später, Leute. Ich liebe euch. Ciao.
Well, 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 what a pleasure it is to see all of your beautiful faces at the end of this lovely video.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
I'm sure you know, as I've mentioned in the past, we do have a Discord that's linked in the description down below, and we would love to have you a part of the world's greatest community ever, BRAYGANG. Yes, if you've made it to this point in the video, you're officially a part of the community. So go ahead, join the Discord server. Link is in the description down below. And we also have other social media as well, like Instagram, Twitter. We're live. We go live on Twitch quite often as well. So it would behoove you to, you know, go ahead and subscribe to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JamesBrayGang. Join the cause and be a part of the greatest, literally the greatest community ever. Okay, it's simple. Just go ahead and do those little things. We're trying to grow on all these little platforms and everything, and it really means a lot. Now, I know you guys stumbled up across the channel and you're like, what does this guy post? Like, what kind of content does he post? Reactions, vlogs, pretty much whatever comes to my mind. All right, it's random content. I don't know what I'm gonna be posting 10 years from now, but I do know that you can stick along for the journey, and it really means a lot. Now, for every single person that subscribes and follows all of the accounts that I have made, and all the links will be in the description down below, that's an automatic entry for any future giveaways I decide to have. I'll remind you when the giveaways take place, but you'll be surprised what I will be giving away because you guys have supported me so much up to this point, and it's only right that I do the same thing back. Thank you guys so much for being amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.